To Izzy and Lizzie Chat and Cook. Today we're going to be making some cupcakes.
Malteser cupcakes.
And that is why we have a big pack of Maltesers. So let's just get on to the recipe.
So the first thing you need to do when you're baking is preheat your oven. And today's temperature is 170 Fan, 375 Fahrenheit or gas mark 5.
Alright, so we're first going to be putting in some caster sugar.
We need 250 grams of caster sugar.
Okay, so we have already pre-weighed our caster sugar and everything else. So you want to chop that in with some butter. We're using our local butter from a farm, but you don't have to.
And that's 280 grams. And if it's soft, it makes it easier to cream.
Yeah, so try have it at room temperature, but you don't have to. And you don't need a KitchenAid or an electric whisk. A stand-up whisk is fine, but I used to do this by hand because I didn't like KitchenAids back then. So we're just going to put that onto a low speed, about number 2 or 3, for about 1 minute until it's pale and fluffy. Okay, so we're now going to crack in 4 medium eggs. Check your sell-by date, best before you use them, because if you're going to use eggs that are over their date, they are just not going to work. So we're now going to crack in 4 of these, okay?
That's a really good point, Izzy, but with eggs, the best before date is when the eggs are best before. Some things are okay afterwards, but you must never use old eggs.
And I like to bounce my yolk into my shells because it gives me practice on separating. Alright, so we're just going to do 4 of those.
And what are you going to put in there with the eggs?
And a pinch of fine sea salt.
What does that do?
That will help to break down the eggs. It will just kind of balance everything out.
Yeah, adds flavour to your flour.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to beat the eggs now so that they all combine, and then we can add them really gradually to our mixture.
So we have 190 grams of self-raising flour, and we've just popped it in the bowl, and we have creamed together our butter and sugar, and it's now a really nice, a lot paler colour if you saw the butter when I first put it in. And you just want to gradually add these, because if you put too much in once, the eggs are going to curdle and it will not look good. But if you do ever curdle your mixture, add in 1 tablespoon of your flour and it will fix it right up, okay? So now
you've just put in 1 tablespoon of flour at the moment.
I'm adding a little bit of time, kind of guesstimating.
Right. So you're just adding the flour and eggs alternatively to stop it curdling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so we're now going to add it all in. And all our eggs. So we also have 50 grams of horliks powder. This is a kind of malt powder and it tastes a lot like the inside of some Maltesers. So that is why we're going to be using these. And we're going to use 50 grams and just add them all in. Let me just quickly get this up. Alright. And then we're going to give that a beat for about 2 minutes so that it's really well combined. Okay, so we're now going to add half a teaspoon of bicarb. I have these really amazing little measurers that are at the top. They have half teaspoons, quarter teaspoons, tablespoon, and then it will have like 1/3 cup, so 1/3 of a cup. If you're American and you're going to be using cups. So they are from B&M Home Store, which I wouldn't usually go to for things like that, but they are actually really good. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder. We're using some green on blacks, organic, and make sure they are proper teaspoons. So make sure you level them out.
And the cocoa's also fair trade, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the reason we're adding bicarbonate of soda is because it helps our mixture to rise, because it's quite a heavy mixture, and the minute bicarbonate of soda gets wet and then warm in the oven, it's like a scientific experiment, and it creates bubbles, and that helps the cakes to rise.
Now also going to take a silicone spatula, which are really great when you're doing this sort of thing, because you don't want any flour, cocoa left on the side. So now,
I see that is.
Now it's mostly combined. We're just going to take our spatula and beat it by hand for a bit, because I find KitchenAids are really great, but sometimes doing it by hand can be quite nice, because you know you've combined it all and your KitchenAid has combined it. So these are going to be really fluffy. I find how I get my really fluffy cakes are just this way. This is my secret. You will beat them with a KitchenAid or something, and then you just carry on beating yourself for about a minute. Okay. Okay, so we're now going to be filling our tins. I find our recipe for this is perfect for one muffin tin that are really deep, and this makes 12 muffins. And we're just going to use some yellow cases and one fairy cake tin and some yellow and green cases again. And I find when you're going to be filling, to get it totally even, for these you don't use as much. For my fairy cakes I use a quarter cup, and for the muffin trays I use a third cup, and these are just absolutely perfect for getting them all even. Okay, so we'll start with the fairy cakes, and we're going to take our knife and just drop it in. This is quite a dense, well not dense, it's quite
Thick, heavy.
thick. Yeah, quite a heavy mixture. It kind of plops into their cases happily. They're quite thick, but they do look delicious. Alright, so we're just going to fill them all now.
Da, da, da. And I thought I'd show you our doggy. He is
Loving
relaxing as we cook. Oh, she's so cute.
And if you want to see a full video about our doggy, go over to my channel, which is called It's Izzy, and watch the Meet the Puppy video. It is great. Alright, so we're just going to fill them all now. Okay, so we have changed to our big oven just because then we can put them all in at a time. 170. For your fairy cakes, you're going to put them in for 15 minutes, and then set your timer for 15 minutes, and then check your bigger ones if they have cooked through. You'll know if you stick a skewer in them and it comes out clean. If they have, just take them all out and leave them cool for about 10 minutes. But the reason I'm putting them in is because I have an adult with me. If you are younger, then I'd say about 11, or at least 11, definitely have an adult with you, because burning hurts a lot. And if you have an oven this high slash hot, it's going to really hurt. Okay, so we're going to pop them in now. I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes, and this is a nice little teapot timer. Alright, so now we wait and tidy up. Okay guys, so I just checked on our cakes. Neither of them are done. This is alright. I guess it depends on how big your oven is, what type it is. All the ovens, they'll be at the same degree you think, but they might be a bit hotter, a bit colder. So we're going to leave all our cakes in for another 5 minutes.
But the best way to tell if a cake is done is with your nose. Can you smell it?
Yeah, but they're
doesn't
raw.
smell burnt, does it?
No.
No.
But they're still a bit raw, alright guys? Alright, so they've been in for 20 minutes and they look perfect. Perfect. Spring back to the finger. So we're now going to take them out and leave them to cool for a bit, okay? Okay, so we're now going to transfer them onto a wire rack, because if you're going to leave them in their tins, they will get greasy at the bottom, and basically everything kind of just goes a bit greasy. We're just going to put them on a wire rack. It's super important to do this. Alright, so let's get wire racking. Okay, so I have just cut one open to see if they're done, and they are done. They're super fluffy, as you can see. Aren't they fluffy?
They're lovely.
And when you touch them, they really spring back. So we're going to try some now.
Oh, we're going to try some.
Mmm. Delicious.
Oh, that is so good.
So fluffy.
But the flavour's great.
They're really fluffy, and you know what? When I first put them on, thought horliks too strong, but actually they really taste like Maltesers now, and they taste great. So defo make these, and now we're gonna make some buttercream. All right. I'm gonna crush up 70 grams of Maltesers. You don't want to blend them because otherwise you're just not going to know they're there. You also are going to want a few more for decorating. So you're now going to take a bag, make sure it is sealed. If it's not sealed, it is not going to be pretty. And you're going to want to take a big rolling pin and just 150 pop them in the KitchenAid. This is so much better done in a KitchenAid. You can do it by hand, but it's not the same light and fluffiness. So the way I make buttercream is beat it. I do it on about 6 for about 30 seconds or 30 to 2 minutes, just so it gets really pale. Alright, so let's start mixing. Okay, so our butter was pretty yellow anyway, but we're now going to quickly take a spatula and just go down, give it a quick beat, and then that's been on for about 30 seconds at 6. It is a lot paler, but we're going to go for about 26 seconds again at 6, alright? So then it will be all around the sides and a lot easier to put in your icing sugar too. So we're now going to sieve 300 grams of icing sugar into a bowl. So that's only 194, so you're going to need to add till
slowly.
Icing sugar will powder everywhere. Oh, that's a bit too much, so we're now going to take some out because we got a bit too much, alright? Alright, so we're now going to take our butter off of the whisk, and as you can see, it doesn't look like there's very much, but it is now a lot more pale, and we have sieved our icing sugar, so you want to add in a little bit, and add in a few Maltesers, and then you also are going to add in a little bit of milk if you need to. We add the milk at the end in case it's going to be too runny. Alright, so add in a little bit, and then I think that's not enough, so I'm going to add in a bit more. Add in a few more Maltesers, and now we're going to give that a beat, and then we can add some more. Okay, so we've added all the icing sugar and Maltesers, and it needs quite a little bit of milk. So we're going to add in 2 tablespoons first to see if that helps bond it together, because you can add but you can't take away. Alright, and start on a very low beating, because if it is too much, it is going to go everywhere. Alright? Okay, so we are now going to put our buttercream in. If you're going to do this by yourself, you need to make sure you've got a jar. So we have disposable piping bags, and I really recommend this piping set from Lakeland. It comes with all sorts of nozzles, and there are 8 of them. We have lost one, but we're going to be using the round one today. And you want to put that in before you do anything. If you haven't put this in, it's not going to go too well. But you could not use a nozzle because we're just going to be typing big dots on. But I prefer to use a nozzle. And you want to get a big spatula and literally just spoon it in with the back of your knife, whatever you want to use to scrape it in. And this buttercream is absolutely beautiful. It's not too beaten. It's got the malteser bits in. It is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. In taste and look. Oh my goodness. So good. Okay, so now you want to take all your icing, give it a little shuffle, and then you literally just have to really squeeze it all down. Shut the top, because if it goes everywhere, your mum is not going to be happy. And you literally have to really squeeze it. Alright? Okay, so we're going to squeeze that all down. So I'm now going to show you how I like to ice these things. Make sure it is really twisted at the top, because if it starts coming out from the top, it's not going to be pretty. Alright, so now you want to apply pressure from the top down. And literally, I put it in the middle, let it go out and lift. Okay, then we're going to spread it out in a minute. I spread them out both out, so it just depends on how much you want to get on. I'd say this one has more. Okay, so this is my two ways of doing it, and now you spread them out. Okay, so I'm going to do it on all of them, and then we'll start spreading. Take a mini palette knife and literally, I'll do it quite close up. Can you see that? We're just going to kind of start spreading across. And you want to move the cake more than you move the knife. So I'm going to try this now because, oh my goodness, they look so good. I can't resist. So Mum has just had half and I think they're great. So we're going to try now.
You didn't have to put all of it in at once. It's really light. And it tastes kind of malty and sweet and creamy and totally delicious.
It tastes like you've taken everything from a Malteser and put it on a cake and then put Maltesers all over it. And if you want to, you can even decorate with some Maltesers. Next time we film, we're going to have an Instagram account. So then if you take pictures once you've made these, keep them and then send them to us on Instagram. So thanks for watching, guys. Please make these and comment and subscribe for more. See you next week.
See you guys. Bye.
Okay, so we have reverted to our bigger oven, and for the photo cakes you're only going to put them in for 15 minutes, so set your timer for 15 minutes. We have changed
Every time we go to film.
and this is us tidying up. How exciting.
Us.
I usually tidy up for myself, don't I, Mum?
Yeah, you're pretty good actually, yes.
And there are our cakes. This is like behind the scenes of filming. And it takes us about, we move the shot a lot, so it takes about 5 minutes to decide where the shot is. It takes a long time to film videos like this, because you have to make sure everything's looking good. And if it's not, well then your viewers aren't going to be that good.